So this is Baruch Fleischman. I am the lift manager at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel. It's my pleasure to bring once again to your attention the survival of the Jews in the Middle Ages. Now here we're going to be talking about the Jewish settlement in Portugal in the 13th and 14th centuries. You have to understand that the Jewish people are a conquered people. We're really conquered because we fought amongst ourselves and the adversary. The Romans, ultimately, who are the ultimate murderers of the world, destroyed us. That's what lack of unity does to the Jewish people. We lose our God in the middle, we lose everything, but we survive. This is the story of survival. Not just survival, but we prosper wherever we can. We have an ancient rule amongst those who study Judaism. That ancient rule is that Esav hates Yaakov. We are the children of Yaakov, of Jacob, and his brother Esau hates him. Esau, the rabbis say, hu Romi, is Rome. Esav is Rome. Rome automatically, always, is jealous and hates the Jews. Rome's major accomplishment always has been the ability to shed more blood than its neighbors. So, in the year approximately of the current counting system, 400, Rome became Roman Christianity, and the bastions became churches. Now, the Jews were supposed to have been destroyed. We were brought back in humiliation into Rome. We were sold as slaves. But somehow we bought ourselves out of slavery. And I like that Rabbi Wein has this little joke that he says that 3 generations after the Jews were transported in slavery, the shops were closed on Shabbos in downtown Rome. We came back. Became a big problem. A conquered people, the hated people, the people who are the descendants of Jacob. And Esau, hates Jacob. And he conquered Jacob, spilled a ton of Jacob's blood, and he comes popping back again. All the places conquered by the blood spilled by the Romans, which include the Iberian Peninsula, all of Europe, basically all of Europe, is all the territory of the north that belongs to Esav, and here you have a small, growing in terms of importance in the world, Jewish communities living within it. This, of course, is not tolerated by the church. The church today is still an enemy of the Jewish people. I'm sorry for people who really believe in the church, because very often, if it helps you to become a better person, wonderful, but if it turns you into a person who hates Jews, it's a big problem for us. This is Jewish settlement in Portugal, 13th and 14th centuries. So it says, ever since Portuguese independence, during the reign of Alfonso III, the Jewish communities of Portugal developed their own unique organizational structure. The Crown appointed a single head of all the Jews in Portugal called the Arabi Moor, who in turn appointed 7 regional heads, which are called Arabi Menors, each heading one of the 7 regional divisions of Portugal. So before that, I didn't know there were 7 divisions in Portugal. The Arabi Moor had a wide range of authority in supervising Jewish communal life. He was the intermediary between the Crown and the community. He represented the latter before the Crown and conveyed the Crown's wishes to the community. He also advised the Crown on matters of taxation and obligation imposed on the Jewish community. However, he was not like a chief rabbi in the conventional sense, but rather a crown administrator. The 14th century was relatively tranquil. That's the 1300s in Portugal. For the Jews of Portugal, that is tranquil for the Jews of Portugal, notwithstanding, just a small thing here, anti-Jewish agitation, church pressure. For example, with regard to the wearing of identifying badges and restrictions of residence. Although the anti-Jewish atmosphere fomented the church resulted in the massacres in the year 1449, Jewish communal life continued to function unperturbed. So in the midst of the slaughter, everybody was not slaughtered. So the function and the form of it continued. Now, you notice the year 1449 is what? 40 years later, 40 some odd years later, 1492 in Spain. It's a terrible edict against the Jews, many whom fled into Portugal. And that's a different story. But the Jews surviving this time, that is the story. This is Baruch Fleischman, and you're listening to the Tikkun Elevator Call Out.